Hello, hello! Welcome back, beautiful people, with us in here where love touches people. So we're back. It's not the section catch up with, but because this month we have a very special theme, which is discipleship, and we're just thinking that why don't we just talk about this more before you listen it from our pastors or other church members. And so with us today, we have invited, he is the youth leader, and I guess you have heard before about him. He's been in here for being a guest for a couple times, which is Philip.
Hello, Nikita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so I guess you've been here for a couple times.
Yeah, I've been a guest and also a host.
Yes. He is also one of our extra MC in here, which is very good, Liv, very good. And for you who still doesn't know, he is our youth leader in here. And I might wanna open with a question how does it feels being a youth leader in this COVID situation? We are not seeing each other often, and we're just have these Zoom meetings once a week or twice a week. So how does it feel?
Yeah, how does it feel leading a youth fellowship during the COVID situation? It's been hard actually because things change. We usually meet up and then gather every fortnight, and then when COVID happened, they restrict us with the gathering and everything. So we need to find an alternative to meet up so that we don't lose contact. At the beginning, I think some groups are doing well, but there are some groups also that are not losing interest but feel awkward. You know, when people never use Zoom meeting, doing the video conference and everything, it's just so awkward. And then I need to be creative with the fellowships and everything.
Oh, what do you mean by being creative?
How to maintain the fellowship even though we don't meet as often. So maybe a regular chat.
Okay.
And then asking everyone's how are you. That's also important. And also I think we talk about this creative idea from Bonar too.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think that's very good idea to be implemented here too.
Yes. So our church has this youth group. So last week it's usually we gather all the youth in one places, but start from these years we started to divide it into smaller groups, and then there's one person who's been in charge for each groups like that. What do you think about this change? It's been 8 months or so since we.
Yeah, it's been longer than 8 months. So I think it started with only 2 groups. Yeah, we have the South Side group and also the City group at the beginning, right?
Yes.
And then along the way, it's been running for a year and everything. And then I thought I think I need to cut it into a smaller group because the goal of the fellowship itself, it's for people to share, to have a testimony, to share, to open up with each other. So I think that with a bigger group, it doesn't happen. It's not that people doesn't want to share. It's just for example, we have 20 people. And then each people share 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How long does it take for everyone to share?
We can be
right?
all day long in there.
I know. And then usually our fellowship start at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So, and also it happened on the weekdays. I don't want to take people times too long. They need to rest, and then they also need to prepare something for the next day. So I think I need to cut it into smaller groups. So that's why I cut it into the initial idea is to have 5 maximum, but looking at the group that we have, I cut it into 5 to 6 people, or sometimes it's 8, it depends. And now I think we have 3 groups that are running at the moment.
Okay, and it's still manageable, I guess. 6 to 8 is perfect. If it's too small, then sometimes people I don't know. There's a pros and cons that I feel with this change. Like with the bigger groups, I feel the excitement. Like I can meet more people, and then that's why I feel lost in the like smaller groups. But then again, with smaller groups, it's becomes more like intimate. People become like more open and then sharing about their lives, which is good. I guess that's what you're reaching for, like.
Yes,
right?
yes, and also I think we also we have every 2 months meeting, so we gather everyone every 2 months, and then we have like that what you call youth service.
Yes,
Yeah.
but because of Corona,
Yeah, we haven't been doing it since Corona.
I think we should make that one on Zoom if it's possible. I don't know if that's possible with that many people.
Yeah. But with the restriction being eased at the moment, I think we can make the youth service again. I think in the future.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Hope so. And I guess you have been in touch with like a leadership, fellowship, something like that. And then because the theme is discipleship, I just wanna like probably ask the basic question: what is discipleship for you? What do you think the meaning of discipleship?
So for me, I think discipleship is about being like Jesus. So it's like imitating our Jesus, our Lord, right?
It's suddenly deep.
Because we talk about discipleship.
Yes,
it's a bit like a serious topic there.
Yes.
But I know a lot of there's a lot of people. It's not right or wrong answer. Discipleship, people might think about mentoring.
Yep.
People might think about like teaching and everything. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I think for me personally, the best answers for me personally is about like being like Jesus. Like we want to imitate our Lord. We want to imitate our Jesus. So that's why I said discipleship is about imitating our Lord.
Okay, like to be honest, for me, discipleship, like when I was like a new Christians, I thought discipleship is for someone who doesn't know Jesus. So you know that kind of people who like, do you want to believe in Jesus? Do you want to believe in Jesus? So that's discipleship. But like I was born as Christian, so I thought that I don't really need discipleship. And then as I become like growing as a Christian, and then I started thinking like, oh, I also need discipleship, because like it's everyone, like you still need to learn about Jesus and everything else like that. So my question is this kind of concept, is it new for you, or is it like have you been involved in discipleship manner since you become Christians, or
this concept of discipleship is not new for me, because I've been ministering since I was like in youth. So since I was like 13, 14, I start doing ministry. And then I think the way that I fall into the ministry is because of the discipleship too, from my senior.
Okay.
So what they did is like when I go into like from Sunday school, so from Sunday school, and then I go to preteens, what we call here. And then from that preteens, they start to select couple of people that are like maybe have potential, right, to be able to minister the church, right? So and the way they select it, it doesn't mean like you have to have a skill, you have to be like religious or something. No, they just basically they select everyone. When I say they select, it's basically they select everyone. Because in my teens groups, there's only like 20 or so 20 people, and then they basically select everyone, and then they separate it into like, it depends. If you good at singing, maybe they invite you to the choir. If you're good at managing stuff, maybe they invite you to do something about management and everything. So they select everyone. So that's when it's all about discipleship. So they teach you from you don't know anything, and then you become know little by little. And it's not all about. I know the goal of discipleship is to introduce Jesus into your life. But for people that already know about Jesus, it's about like knowing deeper about Jesus. And then through what? Bible study, and also through the ministry. Because when we're doing ministry, we also learn how to serve. So that's how I fall into discipleship at the beginning. And when I came to Rock Brisbane, I also joined the Kingdom Discipleship.
Oh yeah.
So I joined under Pastor Hein. So he in charge into in the Kingdom Discipleship is basically our Rock Brisbane discipleship program.
Yep.
And after I finished the program, and then he asked me to also teach the new batch of students, right? And for me at the beginning, I was just like, I don't think I can, you know, because my knowledge is also limited. Like I'm still learning. We always learning about Jesus every day.
Yep.
There's no way I can say like, oh, I already know about Jesus 100%. No, we always learning every day. So when he asked me, and then I just like, oh, but can someone like guide me throughout the class or in the beginning? And then he's like, oh yes. So I think it's about willingness. It's not that you can or you cannot. It's about like, do you want to?
Okay.
Right? So that's when, so I fall into discipleship since the beginning until now.
Yeah, it's kind of like interesting because you sounds like you've been like growing up in a tradition when people, I don't know why, but it sounds like your former church, like it's easy to them to say yes to become a leader for like mentoring group or something like that, because in reality, or like in my experience, I found a lot of cases when it's so hard to find the new leader who like that to be the one who guided this kind of group, something like that. But then again, it's coming back to willingness, and then that's just interesting for me because it's rare. Even I guess in here, it's rare, I guess, to find people who can easily say, okay, yes, or is it not in your case? Are you like kind of like I don't know, contemplating, like thinking about that first, or just straight away say yes?
It's a little bit hit and miss, you know, when you select a group of people to like to join a ministry.
Yep.
There will be some people who stay in the ministry, and then there will be some people who give up in the middle.
Okay.
I have to say it, like there will be some people who give up in the middle because maybe they don't have time, or maybe they say like, oh no, I can't do it. See, again, it's all back to the willingness. Like, how well do you know Jesus? That's why as a mentor, as a senior of the church member, I think it's good that we focus on the knowledge about Jesus in the ministry, not about the job. Because, for example, let's say we talk about youth ministry. So if we focus on the job, like the program, we have to have an outing every month. Every second month, for example, and then we have to have youth fellowships every week. We have to everything. Just have to do this, to do that, to do this and that, and then these people will become overwhelmed because they knew. Maybe they get excited at the beginning. Oh, this is something new. Let's do this. I want to do this, and this, right?
Yes.
But I think along the time, and then it's not sustainable. They got exhausted. They got like, there's problem. When they create an event, no one's turn up.
Okay.
When they do something, no one's liking it. Right? And then they feel like, oh, I'm not suitable for this kind of ministry. And then they were like, oh, I think I have to quit. See? So as a senior of the church member or as a leader, you have to not focusing on the program. I know the program is important. If the program is not running, there's no event, there's nothing in the program, right? In the fellowship. But we need to focus on the person. So that's what I think my senior did to me back then. So at the beginning I just follow. Just follow what he did, and then he just like teach me, oh, this is how we set up like an event. This is how we create an event. We plan through this. We look for the guest speaker. We look for the pastor who's gonna talk, and then we create like items to be put in there to make it interesting and everything. But apart from that, he teach me like about how well did I know Jesus. Like, what do you see when you're doing this ministry? Why do you want to do this ministry in the beginning?
Yep.
And then he nurtured me. He give me like some Bible study, Bible knowledge, and everything. So I think along the way, when I grow deeper in love with Jesus, I grow more deeper in love in my ministry. So it's go along side by side, you know. So I think that's the key. It's about the first thing, of course, we need a willingness from that person, and then the second key, we need to give them like the knowledge about Jesus more about than the program.
Yeah, because like I mean like that person should be the one. I mean like one of their job is to guide other.
Yes.
So yeah, knowledge is also important. Yeah, but like willingness is the first one.
Yes.
Yes. So because you say the words mentor, and then we can say that you one of the mentor for youth in here. Do you have any experience? Like, have you experienced all the things that you have said before, like exhausted or something like that?
Well, there will be a time when I try to. This is the experience that I have when I try to introduce Jesus to someone who is like a new Christian or a new believer.
Yeah.
So he's still like kinda like believe but not believe. He's still using his logic, and I think I hit like a wall when I tried to explain to him about faith, but he used his logic to talk about faith, and then that's the thing. I'm limited. I'm still limited in my knowledge too. So sometimes I don't know what to talk. But this is the key. It's good to say that you don't know rather than you say something random and then it's misleading information. So when he asked me a questions that I feel like, I'm not really sure about the answer. I'll be like, talk to him like, look, we all learning here, so I'm also still learning, teaching you about Jesus and everything. I know I'm limited, but that is a very good question. Hold on to that question. I'll talk to somebody, and then I'll ask Pastor Haynes, or I ask Pastor Hani, or I ask Pastor Denny, and then I'll get back to you later.
Okay.
I think that's the good.
Yeah.
Good getaway.
Yeah, just make sure you come back to that person later.
Yeah, I will always come back here.
Okay, so talking about mentor, a lot of discipleship, I find that they are centered in the mentor, but like learning become a mentee is also important, because before becoming a mentor, all of us are mentees.
Yes.
So what do you think the kind of like attitude or like heart that a mentee should have? Because being a mentee is a challenge as well, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a journey as well, and it's a lifetime journey.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think about that?
I think first thing first, as I said before, is about willingness first, and then the second is commitment. So you have to be committed into what you want to try to achieve, and also an open heart. That you want to listen, you want to learn. If you think that you know everything, if you think that everything that your mentor said to you, I already know about this, nothing will get through you. So it's about those three: willingness, commitment, and also openness.
So it's interesting. But like we won't talk about all discipleship in here, because like I said, it's a month of discipleship, and actually we have these events. Do you want to talk about that, Liv?
Yes. Also, as you know, as if maybe the listener doesn't know, we have this scheduled prayer meeting every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Yep.
And then it's on Pastor Hani Zoom meeting ID.
Yes.
If you and this month is a special month because we invite a special guest. This I think this guest speaker is good about he's really good at talking about discipleship. So
Yep.
I think one of his thesis is talking about discipleship.
Oh.
So he got a lot of knowledge. I attend the first meeting and then I learned so much. I learned a lot about discipleship. So if you don't want to miss out,
Yep.
join our prayer meeting
Yes.
with Pastor Hani Zoom meeting ID. I think if you don't know Pastor Hani Zoom meeting ID, you can email us through our Rock Brisbane email, or you
Yeah.
can hit us on direct message on Instagram
Yes.
or YouTube or Facebook. Just ask around. If you are resided in Brisbane and if you are our church member, Rock Brisbane church member, just ask me.
And then we will talk about this a lot in this 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yes.
3 weeks, the next 3 weeks. So it will be excited. And then I guess we will see you.
We'll see you. Remember, Saturday 10 a.m.
Yes. And don't forget our podcast every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Thank you, Liv.
Thank you.
for coming. Bye.
Bye.